Pisces. Okay. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as your extended option going into this reading that we're about to do even deeper. And podcast is below. Okay, let's get started. Gemini season. Season that is not going to hold back unless that's what you need, right? You have a lot coming towards you. You have a lot of options, whether it's opportunities in love or romantic or travel. Love or romantic or career, you know. Anything rushing towards you or what you think, or if you're questioning if something's being overpromised, I would trust your instincts on that. Very much so. You see that there is some kind of curtain. See the curtain behind Justice? Justice is the only one, I believe, with a curtain. There's something going to be revealed to you about this throughout the course of the month. You know, that's specifically for some of you, I feel like. So just hold off on making any sudden decisions at this moment. It's kind of like in yoga. It's like, you know, you don't have to make any sudden movements, you know, just notice and then move on. It's like a shavasana. So this month can be like a shavasana. And what is a shavasana? We're going to talk a little bit about it. It's also identified as corpse pose in the English language, where you lay down flat at the end or at the beginning or whenever during a yoga class. Usually, traditionally, it's towards the end. After you've moved your body, you let, at least for 10 minutes, you're supposed to, not Western culture really doesn't do that. But try to give yourself that full 10 minutes to allow your body to absorb everything it's done. So if you're getting all of these invitations, I would, it's not a hesitation. I would just hesitate to say yes right away. I don't think that you want to commit to too much right now. I think that if you're not able to experience and be in the experiences and you're in your head too much this month, or you're in a certain space this much too month, give that space to yourself. It doesn't mean maybe you have to have a conversation with a partner or a friend that you're used to seeing often or talking to often, where you're just in this space where you need that time. And then for some of you, it's about this being offered some kind of there's some kind of peace offering for some of you. It's about making peace with, at one point, what you would, because what's coming your way, at one point you may have wanted it. You may have been like, yeah. And that happens a lot, especially if you talk about manifestation or talk about anything with acquiring things that you want, then you get over it. Or you're just like, no, I don't really want this anymore, right? You might experience that too. You might be like, yeah, sure, but then be like, no, I'm good. And that's great. In this season, it's great to go through that and understand that and be open to that and not being so held on. It's very good to be mutable right now in the ways of the air, but it's also in a really important time to still impose certain boundaries or certain qualities about yourself that keep you grounded, that keep you from shifting in a way that's away from yourself. What do I mean by that? Who you've been developing into and who you really are. Like if there's something in your life that brings you back to being a kid, yeah, that's all good and fun. But if it's detrimental, is it? If you do it in a naive fashion, is it? Do it. Just don't do it in a naive way. That's all. If you want to do it. But there's also this clearing of a disillusion, smoke and mirrors for you. That's like kind of a traditional way to talk about the Seven of Cups, and I want to go there because we have two traditional signs right in front of us as well. It's very obvious that you may have gotten caught up in some kind of material game, and you're being asked to, with all the confidence, to move forward from this, because that's maybe what keeps you getting stuck. If you feel like you're in and out of this stuckness, it's also a part of that water, right? Remaining mutable isn't always easy. It can be exhausting. And this season is going to help you out because it's going to be very obvious. Maybe you find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time and then the right place at the right time all in the same week. And you're like, whoa, crazy. And you don't judge yourself or judge your experience. You kind of just take it for what it is and you're safe. I hope that you're safe as well. For those of you who need that extra, like, be safe if you feel a little uneasy this month, and you're the only ones I've said this to. So I think that maybe you need to share your location if you're going on dates, if you're going on an opportunity, or if you're going to unknown places. And even if you are in a place that you do know, you don't know everything that's going on, right? So if you're feeling at all uneasy, definitely like share your location with people, let people know where you're going, what you're up to. Don't be afraid to share that this month, even if you're trying to be like, what's the word? Incognito this month. And you're trying to lay low. Just at least 1-2 people in your life, let them know where you're at, what you're doing, even if it's emotionally. Because by the end of the month, all of this will come to a head, and you'll see all of this being played out. This is you really needing to hear that working so hard on maintaining your status, perhaps, or maintaining what makes you different is actually what's causing you to remain in this circulating stuck, unstuck. When you get the confidence, it's really important that you keep moving with it. You don't keep showing yourself how different or how much better or how much you are. You just remain in that energy and you move forward with it in a way where it transmutes your emotions, where you're not holding on to whether it's negative experiences or negative feelings from what you ultimately had part in deciding. Well, how do you say that? How can you? Well, it's because in our whole lives, we've made decisions out of programming or not, but it's still our decision. So until we become very aware of our sovereignty is the fun word to say now, sovereignty or independence or independent thought. When you become clear of that, if you ever become clear of that, that's where we then begin to explore, well, does this still work for me? Is this still working for me? Is this still in alignment with me? If you've never asked yourself those questions, maybe that's where you start this month. Like, what is going on here? Well, what's going on is that you keep unaligning your alignment. You actually are like saying yes and then saying no, and it's like this Ace of Wands energy really wants to meet you now. So you're gonna come to a head with it, and it's just like, you got this on the other side. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to, make yourself appear more. It just, life is going to naturally do that for you this month. And you know what that feels like. It just may seem like it's been a while. And it could just been a couple months, for some of you. But it just feels like a while. But the magic is coming back because you've kind of been in your own way a little bit in some area, especially if it has to do with work. And now you are regaining and seeing the justice happen right before your eyes. You're seeing how capable you are, how life is meeting itself, like everything's kind of coming together and comes to a head. And you're able to digest this month. There's not too many people coming in and out because I think you realize this month needs to be you may get invited, you may have many opportunities, but this month needs to be less about, oh my God, fun, all these opportunities, more about what the fuck do you actually want to do? Do you actually want to do all this? No, you don't. You don't. It's okay. Whatever you do is going to be the best thing that you can do for you, and it's going to be the most fun you have doing what you want to do. If you force yourself into certain things, you'll notice, and if you notice your mood change or you become agitated, maybe just do yourself a favor and leave. Maybe do yourself a favor and move on, or shift, or just take yourself out of the situation. You know, you don't have to, right? But it could be that's where you meet this energy. Maybe, or you say, I'm going to commit to going to half of the party or half the time and leave early, or go late, right? And leave, and still leave, like, give yourself a time limit. If you're not, even if you're having a fun time, it's not about leaving that fun time. It's about still feeling inspired to maybe work on or have enough energy to receive what's trying to come to you, right? So you want a little bit of extra energy. Don't exhaust yourself this month, because it can be exhausting already. That's what I would say to you this month, okay? That's what the cards are showing, because you have all the power and energy to do so. The Six of Wands is also like, you're doing it, but you're kind of stopping yourself at this certain place because you're unwilling to perhaps just say no to something specific. And you'll know. You'll keep running into it. And then maybe a person who shows it to you in a really helpful way. Maybe even you choose that person. And my cat's here. We'll get into the next part right away, Pisces.